This is Case, Cause, and Criminology, where true crime meets critical thinking, where we explore real criminal cases through the lens of law, psychology, and society. In this episode, we examine a disturbing case that crossed continents from Sweden to Kenya. The case of Fayed Mwangi, a Kenyan national, became public in 2017, when his name appeared in Swedish court records connected to a violent and deeply troubling incident. Mwangi, then a teenager living in Sweden, would go on to face criminal conviction, imprisonment, and ultimately, permanent deportation. The events that unfolded drew media attention in both Sweden and Kenya, and sparked concern over crime, immigration, and justice. This took place in Kista, a district in Stockholm known for its tech industry and its diverse immigrant population. On the night in question, Fayed Mwangi was attending a social gathering with several other young people, among them Richelieu Jarara, a Liberian national also residing in Sweden. According to court evidence, the evening turned violent. A male individual at the gathering was assaulted, beaten, and left injured. Then, in an act that escalated the case to a new level of severity, Fayed Mwangi raped the man's female companion. This sequence of events was reconstructed using witness testimony, forensic findings, and victim statements. Swedish authorities swiftly launched a criminal investigation. The case was prosecuted in Solna District Court, just outside central Stockholm. Fayed Mwangi was charged with aggravated assault and rape. Richelieu Jarara faced charges for his role in the initial violence. The trial relied on extensive evidence. No psychiatric evaluations were submitted. There were no claims of mental illness or diminished capacity. Both individuals were found guilty. Fayed Mwangi received 2 years and 6 months in prison, followed by deportation. Richelieu Jarara was sentenced to 3 years in prison. In Mwangi's case, the deportation order included a permanent ban on returning to Sweden. The story made headlines. Swedish outlets reported the case as part of broader discussions on urban crime and youth violence. In Kenya, Nairobi News covered the developments, highlighting the seriousness of the crimes and the identity of the accused. The public reaction was mixed. Some saw it as a necessary act of justice. Others voiced concerns about crime within immigrant communities. But the focus remained clear: a violent crime had occurred, and the courts responded with clarity and consequence. Under Swedish law, all people, citizen or foreigner, are entitled to a fair trial. But for non-citizens convicted of serious crimes, the law allows for additional penalties, like deportation. In this case, the court's approach followed standard practice: a prison sentence followed by removal from the country. There were no known appeals, no changes to the outcome. Mwangi served his time and was then deported. This case is more than just a legal file. It raises questions about criminal behavior, youth accountability, and the intersections of justice and immigration. It reminds us that behind every court sentence, there are victims seeking closure and offenders facing long-term consequences. And it challenges us to think not just about what happened, but why it happened, and how societies can respond both fairly and firmly. This case, like all those we cover, is based entirely on verified legal records, court outcomes, and public reporting. There is no speculation here, only fact, interpreted through the critical lens of law, psychology, and social impact. This is Case, Cause, and Criminology, real crime, critical thinking, for minds that ask why.